Good morning, aspirants. We are very happy to welcome you all back to the 11th March episode of Civil Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar AS Academy. And if you are watching this video without subscribing to the channel, kindly do subscribe and do hit the bell icon too for receiving on-time notification. The pre-storming UPSC Prelims Test Series Batch 6, the last batch has started already from 10th March onwards. So kindly do register for this test series as soon as possible and have an edge over the UPSC Prelims of 2026. So here are the list of topics taken for today's discussion, and the first topic is about the Shine, a platform or portal launched by the Indian Railways. And the second topic is about the Green Cover Index report that has been released recently by the National Highways Authority of India. And the third topic is about the Exercise Lamitye, which is a military exercise between India and Seychelles, an island nation. And the fourth topic is about the bilateral ties or relationship between India and Nepal, a comprehensive analysis. And the fifth topic is Prelims Focus, where we discuss important current affairs from the UPSC Prelims point of view. And it's time to skip to the main content. Indian Railways, in a breakthrough initiative, has recently launched an app or platform known as Shine, in a view to empower the women and also to ensure safety and security at their workplace. This app will enable the women employee to lodge the sexual harassment at their workplace digitally through this platform. With this news background from The Hindu, let's know more about this platform in detail. So about the news, the Indian Railways has recently launched this digital tool known as Shine to report the sexual harassment at the workplace by the Indian Railway employees. And this was launched on International Women's Day, which falls on March 8th of every year. And this Shine is an composite customized app which having integrated with the human resource management system of Indian Railways. And about the Shine platform, the expansion is sexual harassment incident notification for empowerment. And the main purpose of this app, dedicated app, is enabling or allowing the women railway employees to file complaints related to sexual harassment at their workplace digitally. And the complaints are sent directly to the concerned internal complaints committee. It is a mandate to establish this internal complaints committee with having more than 10 employees for an institution or an organization. And this key idea behind the introduction of this Shine platform is to make the reporting more easier for the women employees and having the confidential related to the information shared by the women, and also to take faster action related to their complaints. And what was the specific features that enables the women to lodge their complaint in this platform? It is having the online complaint system where the women employee can lodge the complaint, file the complaint through the employee self-service portal in the human resource management system, which are of Indian Railways. And the confidential reporting is also a peculiar feature that this system of reporting the sexual harassment at their workplace will ensure the privacy and secure handling of the complaints, where no information will be shared to others other than the complainant and the internal committee. So it will be kept confidential. And for outsiders too, this will be enabled. This platform will enable the sexual harassment complaints of the outsiders other than the Indian Railway employees too. So these complaints can also be filed on behalf of the outsiders such as visitors, contractual workers, students and other outsiders in the railway premises. So this might be the gray area where we can obtain frivolous petitions or complaints related to sexual harassment to any specific employee, which is considered to be one of the gray areas. And it also enables faster resolution of the complaints to take actions. The complaints go directly to the authorized committee for speeding up the action and to take the resolution. And to enhance the present mechanism, what it enhances in the present mechanism? It doesn't, because this system does not replace the existing committee's formation or the formation of the internal complaints committee. Every organization has already formed the internal complaint committee with having more than 10 employees. according to the Vishaka guidelines issued in the year of 1997 by the Supreme Court. So this internal complaint committee will not be get eliminated, or it will not create any changes in the formation of this internal complaint committee, but instead this Shine platform digitizes and strengthen the mechanism of reporting the sexual harassment complaints with related to the Indian Railways employees and outsiders. And moving to the question, with reference to Shine recently seen in the news, consider the following statement. First statement: Shine is an initiative launched by the Indian Railways to enable women employees to report sexual harassment at the workplace. Second, the platform replaces the internal complaints committee formed under the Vishaka guidelines. Which of the statements given above are correct? And the second statement was incorrect because the platform does not replaces the internal complaints committee formed under the Vishaka guidelines. So the second statement was incorrect, and the first statement was correct, and the answer will be option A, one only. Let's check. Yes. And with this, we also have to note about the other initiatives or the other missions taken by the Indian Railways for the empowerment of women and also to ensure the safety and security of women. The initiatives such as Operation Mary Saheli, which provides the end-to-end security for the lone women traveler in the Indian Railways by the lady RPF personnel who interacts with them. And the other operations are Operation Matri Shakti. This initiative provides the RPF lady RPF personnel will provide specialized assistance to the pregnant women who is traveling in the Indian Railways. And the other operation are Operation Mahila Suraksha. This is an national-wide initiative to prevent the unauthorized travel in the ladies' coaches, and also to rescue the women who are a potential human under the potential human trafficking. And this other operation is known as Operation Aath. So this Aath means the Operation Action Against Human Trafficking. It is a dedicated mission to combat the human trafficking, especially the women and children. And it also deployed other specialized zonal teams such as Shakti team got deployed by the Lady RPF squad being deployed by the South Central Railway. And the other is Durga Vahini team by the Northwestern Railways, and the Mandagini squad Mandagini squad by the Eastern Railways. So these are all the specialized zonal teams deployed for the for ensuring the safety and security of women in Indian Railways. And these are all the operations or the initiatives taken by the Indian Railways to ensure the women's safety and also the empowerment of women. So with this, we move to the next topic. The National Highways Authority of India, in a significant step, has recently released an annual report, that is National Highways Green Cover Index. With this news background from the Press Information Bureau, let's discuss more about this index in detail. So this National Highways Green Cover Index was released by the National Highways Authority of India, a first of its kind annual report released by this organization. And this was for the period of 2025 to 26. It is measuring or assessing the green cover along the national highways of India, and it was prepared with the help of National Remote Sensing Center of Indian Space Research Organization. And the purpose of releasing this annual report by this National Highways Authority of India is to have the scientific assessment of the vegetation cover along the national highways using satellite technology. And the initiative has come from the 3 years of memorandum of understanding which has been signed in the year of 2024 between the National Highways Authority of India as well as the National Remote Sensing Center of ISRO. So this National Remote Sensing Center has the crucial role which on preparing this report, which helps in assistance with related to the satellite data and technical analysis of the data that has been obtained over for assessment. And how this index is being measured, it is using the satellite technology for the assessment of green cover. So, what are the key features? It uses high resolution satellite sensors for assessing the green cover. So, it uses this sensor for capturing or detecting the chlorophyll content over the national highways for assessing the vegetation cover over the region, and it measures the green cover on both sides of the highways for a comprehensive assessment. And also the data is being recorded every 1 kilometer stretch for of the highways for effective assessing the green cover over the national highways. So the coverage of the first report, this is the first of its kind report released by the National Highways Authority of India over the green cover. So this first report includes 30,000 kilometers of the national highways has been assessed across 24 states, and the time period taken for this assessment is between July to December of 2024, and it has been released recently. And the future reports will track year to year changes in the green cover. So it will help to assess the yearly changes of the vegetation cover over the national highways, whether it has been increased or decreased. It can be easily taken through the data. And moving to the question with reference to the national highways green cover index, consider the following statements. First, it has been released by the National Highways Authority of India to measure green cover along the national highways. Second, the assessment is carried out using satellite data provided by the National Remote Sensing Center of the ISRO. Third, the index measures the proportion of forest area in districts through ground-based surveys. Which of the statements given above are correct? So in this question, the third statement was incorrect because it is not obtained using the ground-based assessment. It uses satellite technology and remote sensing sensors for assessing the green cover over the highways. So the third statement was incorrect. And the first and second statements are correct. And the answer will be option B, 2 only. Let's check. Yes. And we also have to note about some of the green cover initiatives or the assessment having the Indian purview over the green cover. What are all that? First is that Indian State of Forest Report. And the next is about the Global Forest Resource Assessment. This Indian State of Forest report is released biennially by the Forest Survey of India. Biennial. Since 1987 it has been released. So the second is the global forest resource assessment, and the third is the initiative or the pilot project of Madhya Pradesh, that is real time forest assessment. So this will be very important. And the other things are the green watch portal under the CAMPA framework for assessing the afforestation as well as other related activities. And the next is the Parivesh 2.0 portal. This is also been having the related to the green cover and also the Green India mission. So kindly note all these and take a note of it, because it will be very important, and there may be a confusive statement, or either we can expect and matching statement related to this. Match the following pairs question related to this index. So kindly note that. And with this, we move to the next topic. Recently, our Indian contingent has departed for Seychelles for participating in the joint military exercise Lamitiye. This news article from the Press Information Bureau gives more information about this. So, about the exercise Lamitiye, it will be between India and Seychelles, and this year it will be the 11th edition of such exercise. And this exercise is the only dedicated bilateral joint military exercise between India and Seychelles. Apart from this, India and Seychelles has its mutual and participation in the maritime engagement across various other multilateral exercises, such as Exercise Milan. Exercise Milan. It has been concluded recently. It was hosted by the Indian Navy. And in this exercise Milan, Seychelles will be the regular participant and constant participant. And also the other exercises such as exercise Cutlass Express and Operation Southern Readiness. So these are all the other multilateral exercises where India and Seychelles has the mutual engagement. And this exercise Lamitiye is the biennial exercise, which occurs once in every 2 years. And the starting of this origin of this exercise between both the nations was started on 2001. And according to the Creole language, that is the Seychelles Creole language, Lamitiye means friendship. And the current year, the venue of this exercise will be Seychelles Defence Forces Academy. And with respect to the India's participation in this bilateral military exercise, it is being participating all the three services of armed forces in India. It is one of the significant milestones that has been occurred in this year. And India's engagement in this exercise with all the three services such as defense personnel from the Assam regiment. So it is from the army, and from the navy. The naval participants include INS Trikant will be participating, which is one of the India's frontline state-of-the-art combat frigate, which has been equipped with the BrahMos missile. And with respect to the air force, the air components like Lockheed C-130 Hercules transport aircraft is also been participating in this exercise Lamitiye. And this significant is that the tri-service participation, Army, Navy and Air Force from India. And what are all the operational themes that has been the core idea of this exercise Lamitiye? It is subconventional operations. It includes semi-urban warfare. It also involving peacekeeping operations, joint tactical drills, and neutralization of emerging threats, which is also important as it is conducting over the Indian Ocean region. And the training components include the field training exercise, combat discussions, case studies, and technology demonstration will also be involved in this exercise. And what was the strategic importance with respect to this exercise? Because it is conducting over the Indian Ocean strategic region, which has the more say over this region, because Seychelles is located in the western Indian Ocean, closely located between the African continent, and it sits near the major sea lane connections, which is also been located at the junctures of the major sea lanes such as Africa, Middle East and Asia, which is also considered as the heavily trafficked networks for major logistic operation as well as transportation. And it also supports the SAGAR doctrine of India, that is security and growth for all over the region. This doctrine has been specifically focusing over the Indian Ocean region, and it establishes India's power over the region, and it also been identified with the India as the net security provider for the Indian Ocean region, and also the first responder from this region. And this exercise has been closely in aligned with the security and growth for all. That is SAGAR doctrine of India, and also been as the as a key role in the countering the maritime competition over the Indian Ocean region. It strengthens the different ties with the island states, which helps India to have a strong foothold over the Indian Ocean region, and also have the effective influence over the small island nations, and also counter the expanding presence of the external powers. And why the Seychelles matter for India? Because it is located near the Mozambique Channel. As we discussed, it is also considered to be one of the productive and heavily trafficked network of both logistics and transportation. And also it is being as a major shipping route, and it also has the threat of piracy. So India can also conduct anti-piracy patrols over there, and also supports the Indian Ocean maritime domain awareness for India as well as Seychelles, and the strategic partners for coastal radar network. So India can establish a radar network or the radar base over the Seychelles or the nearby islands with the consent of the preferred nations for having more engagement, and also the technological collaboration, which also eventually supports the India's strong foothold over that region. And moving to the question, consider the following statements regarding exercise Lamitiye. First, it is a joint military exercise between India and Seychelles. Second, it is conducted annually. Third, the exercise focuses on subconventional and semi-urban operations. Which of the above statements are correct? And by the discussion, we can infer that the second statement was incorrect because it is conducted biennially. That is between once in every 2 years. So the second statement was incorrect. And the first statement and third statement are correct. And the answer will be option B. Let's check. Yes. And it's time to move to the next topic. How New Delhi should deal with the new Kathmandu. This news article from the Indian Express comprehensively analyzes about the relationship between India and Nepal. First, we have to know about the background. Historically, the relationship between India and Nepal was built upon the foundations of peace, harmony, and friendship. And the foundational treaty also implies upon the same. That is India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship. It was signed between India and Nepal on July 30th of 1950, which enforces and establishes open borders, that is porous borders between India and Nepal, and also provided the reciprocal rights to live, work, and own property in both the countries for their nationals. And we also have to note about the historical evolution of the geopolitical situation to present time, and also the India's tie between Nepal for all along the years. And in the between the years of 1950s to 1990s, where the Nepal was under the monarch's control, India has a close tie with the Nepal's monarch, and India was also considered as the main external partner and also the most favored nation by Nepal at that time. And between the years of 2000 to 2015, there is an constant civil war outbreak because of the instability. This instability is because to abolish the monarchical form to reinstate the republican state over Nepal region. So this in the year of 2008 only, the Nepal will be declared as a republican state. So India supported the Nepal's transition from the abolition of monarchy to attainment of republican state, and also involved in the peace process after the civil war got outbroke over the Nepal region. And between 2015 to at present, there is an constant strain between the relationship or the ties between India and Nepal because of the 2015 border blockade. There is a disputed area between India and Nepal, which got the ties to get strained. That region is known as Kalapani and Lipule Pass. And which are all the states and union territories that shares border with the Nepal. The country is closely located with the Indian territories and the states such as in the west we have Uttarakhand state which is bordering Nepal, and in the south we have Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, and in the east we have Sikkim union territory, and the West Bengal. Sorry, Sikkim is also a state. Sikkim in the east we have Sikkim and West Bengal. So these are all the bordering states between Nepal. And with related to trade ties between the years of 2024 to 25, there is a total bilateral trade of approximately 8.7 billion US dollars, and India's major exports consist of refined petroleum, iron and steel, vehicles and other industrial machineries, and it cost around 7.4 billions of export dollars to Nepal. And in Nepal is also exporting some certain products to India, which adds value to 1.3 billion to their coffers. This Nepal's export consists majorly of electricity. They produce high amount of electricity because of the hydroelectric power generation through the major rivers, and the vegetable oils, specifically soya bean and palm, and also some agricultural products also being imported by India or exported by Nepal to India. And there is a significant thing we need to note, that Nepal has a trade deficit with India. Nepal faces a significant deficit of approximately Nepalian rupees of 563 billion, which is a huge amount. That is between around 4.2 billions of US dollars with India. And with related to the energy cooperation, which is a major sector where the India and Nepal has the utmost cooperation because of the hydroelectric power generation. The major power imports, India has approved 1140.7 megawatts of electricity import from Nepal between August 2025, which is providing additional revenue to the Nepal's coffers. And revenue for Nepal has been provided with this power import by India, which around 17.5 billions of Nepalian rupees from power exports between the years of 2024 to 25 by India. And also the transmission projects between India and Nepal for electricity transmission between both the nations. It consists of Inaura New Purnia 400 kilowatts line, transmission line, and Lamki Bareilly 400 kilowatts power transmission line. And also the joint ventures, these joint ventures of establishing power transmission lines between both the nations was signed between Power Grid Corporation of India and Nepal Electricity Authority. And also the notable hydropower projects between India and Nepal are Arun 3 hydroelectric project and West Seti hydropower project, which also adds the power to the both the nations. And with related to the technological and digital cooperation or collaboration between India and Nepal, there is also a close evolving ties on that sector too. Because with related to the digital public infrastructure, India has a viable digital public infrastructure and it shares it with the Nepal. And majorly the unified payment interface, which is also famous across the nations, which has also been considered to be one of the credible payment interface by developed by India, NPCIL. This unified payment interface has been integrated with the Nepal since 2024, and it also been used widely. And over 1 million transactions has been completed over Nepal or the Nepalian nationals by this interface. And digital person to person remittance also been done over large numbers, which is close to be attain the full launch. And with related to the technological collaboration, India Nepal Tech Forum 2026 also been conducted, which focuses on AI, cloud-based networks, and also the cyber security. And aligning with the India's AI mission and vision, Nepal also launched National AI Policy on 2025, and the IT Decade Vision. It also releases IT Decade Vision, aiming for resourcing around 100 billions from the digital economy through by the year of 2030. And the defense cooperation, as we know, there is an joint military exercise which is the 19th edition, which was conducted in the year of 2025, which is having a historical conventional drill conducted between India and Nepal, that is exercise Surya Kiran and Uttarakhand. And this exercise focuses majorly on counter-terrorism, mountain warfare, that is HADR, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief with drones and AI tools. And also the capacity building also need to be noted between both the nations, that there is also a possibility of cohesive cooperation on the field of capacity building. India supports Nepalese army's modernization. It has recently supplied 50 military utility vehicles to the nation for the modernization of Nepalese military, and also officers are also being trained by the Indian officers. And border security, with related to the border security, there is an armed police force established by India over the borders of Nepal, that is Shastra Seema Bal of India has been in close collaboration with the armed police force of Nepal to have the border more secure and easily accessible for both the nations. And what was the challenges for the new government? First is the economic challenge, because Nepal has a large amount of trade deficit with India. So there is also a weak job generation because of the instability that has been recently occurred over the Nepal region because of the Gen Z protest and the overthrowing of the established government recently. And there is a weak job generation and large trade deficit between India and Nepal, majorly by the Nepal, and dependence on remittance is also being more with India, and also youth migration because of the weak job creation and the instability over that region. And related to the governance challenge, there is an corruption prevailing over the government authorities, as well as deep-rooted corruption in all over the sectors, and low public trust because of the constant changing of political environment, as well as the uprising of people movement over there, and political instability, as we discussed. This is also added and burden to the Nepal's government. And what is the structural challenge? The Nepal, the entire area is vulnerable to climate and natural disasters and climate vulnerabilities, and rising inequalities of disasters will also be a cause of concern, and also acting as a barrier between the ties between India and Nepal. And what does this mean for India, and how India should approach the new government which got elected at present? So it has to engage with the new leadership to build ties with the emerging leaders like Balendra Shah, who is the newly elected Prime Minister of Nepal, who is about to get assume charge as a Prime Minister, who is also popularly known as Balan Shah, and adapt a changing political dynamics. So India needs to adapt and go in a close alignment with the Nepal's political situation over there, and to avoid the intrusive image. Instead of going into the Nepal's political autonomy, it has to maintain certain space to have the mutual engage, and to maintain respectful diplomacy and acknowledge Nepal's political economy. autonomy. And to strengthen economic cooperation, India has to be the viable partner of sharing the resources, and also to maintain the deficit into an equitable manner. So expanding trade is the one such option, and to infrastructure connectivity needs to be elevated and to build in a comprehensive manner. And the hydropower collaboration is the major sector where India and Nepal has the conventional cooperation. So this hydropower collaboration is also needs to be made in a more viable manner. And moving to the mains practice question, the question is political changes in India's neighborhood often reshape bilateral relationship. Discuss how India should adapt its diplomatic approach to emerging leadership in neighboring countries. And this is a 15 more question we need to answer within 250 words. So please take this question and post your answers in the comment section. We will evaluate and give the feedback in the comment section. With this, let's move to the prelims focus. Coming to the prelims focus, and the first topic is about the abdominal obesity. A recent research study reveals that the progressive increase in the obesity and abdominal obesity in India represents a significant and evolving metabolic crisis. So this will be very crucial for the healthcare and healthcare infrastructure in India. And it also reveals certain concerns that Asian Indians often develop with the abdominal obesity at the normal BMI rate. So this pattern of having abdominal obesity at the normal BMI rate has the close linkage with the other disorders such as higher insulin resistance, ectopic fat buildups in the body, and it may also be the symptom for the earliest onset of other metabolic diseases. And this metabolic crisis can contribute to the rising prevalence of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and MASLD, that is metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease and associated cardiometabolic disorders. And the fifth National Family Health Survey's data also has the same and similar inference that abdominal obesity in India affects 40% of the women population and 12% of the men population in India. And it also reveals that it will not be confined only to the urban population or the urban areas only. It expands to the affluent groups into rural and lower socioeconomic populations in India too. Moving to the next topic is about the red sand dunes of Therikadu. It is one of the only three such red sand deposits in the tropical South Asian region, alongside the Visakhapatnam, where it is called as Erra Matti Dibalu, and Sri Lanka. So these are all the other two locations having the red sand deposits in the tropical South Asian region. And this Erramatti Dibalu has been accorded with the Geo Heritage tag by the Geological Survey of India. So these are all the peculiar features of this red sand dunes of Therikadu region, where we can observe the red soil in most numbers, where the red soil was prevailing over the desert-like structure. So it is known as the little known desert of having striking red sand dunes, which is formed majorly because of the iron-rich soil over there. And the location of this Therikadu is in Thoothukudi district of Tamil Nadu. And this formation of color of this red soil is because of the oxidation and leaching of iron rich heavy metals like ilmenite and magnetite being leached away, which led to the formation of this red color. And unlike the Rajasthan's golden sands, these dunes glow rust red in color on the sunlight. And these landscape having the lesser vegetation of palm trees and even the cashew nut trees also being prevailing in scattered locations, and also has the certain clusters of villages, and creates a rare coastal desert contrast to this region. And the next topic is about the return of Thirumangai Alvar statue. So this Thirumangai Alvar statue has its original origination from the temple of Sundara Raja Perumal temple of Tanjavur district in Tamil Nadu, and it belongs to the period of 16th century bronze statue of Saint Thirumangai Alvar, and it was acquired by the Ashmolean Museum of Oxford in 1967. So it has been considered to be stolen between the years of 1957 to 67. From it has been kept in the museum since 1967 from a private collector known as Mr. J.R. Belmont. And the recent discovery of this Thirumangai Alvar statue is by the independent French scholar who is linked with the bronze statue to a 1957 photograph from the same temple, Sundararaja Perumal temple's photography archives. And it was being returned by this museum to the government of India through High Commission in London after detailed provenance research. So this about this Thirumangai Alvar, who is the last of the 12 Alvars. So there will be 12 Alvars according to the Vaishnavite traditions of Hinduism. So this Thirumangai Alvar will be the last of such Alvars, and he is also been acclaimed with the famous titles Narkavi Perumal, and Parakala. So these are all the titles of this Thirumangai Alvar. So this Narkavi Perumal means excellent poet, and this Parakala means beyond time. So these are all the titles held by this Thirumangai Alvar. Moving to the question, the Therikadu region recently seen in the news is known for its unique red sand dunes. With the reference to this region, consider the following statements. First statement, the red sand dunes are located in the southern part of the state of Tamil Nadu. Second, the reddish color of the sand is mainly due to the presence of iron oxides. Third, the dunes are formed primarily by the glacial deposition during the last ice age. Which of the statements given above are correct? So we have discussed about the second statement where the reddish color is because of the oxidation and leaching of iron rich minerals, heavy minerals such as ilmenite and magnetite. So the second statement was correct because of the iron oxides, and the first statement is also correct because it is prevailing or it is located in the southern parts of state of Tamil Nadu in the Thoothukudi district of Tamil Nadu. So the first statement is also correct, and the third statement was incorrect because it is not formed primarily by the glacial deposition of the last ice age. So the third statement will be incorrect, and the answer will be option A, 1 and 2. Let's check. Yes, with this we came to the conclusion of this episode. Hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below, and share the video to your friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell icon for receiving on-time notification. Thank you for watching us. Have a great day.